the facts are clearly different than the way the patient remembers it, but it's very real to them, and that's the nature of some of these conditions.
And that's pretty common?
I mean,
But based on your experience, I guess it's pretty common?
associated with certain conditions, yes.
So, would it be fair to say that people that have that condition, would it be fair to say that, do they take responsibility for their actions, or do they?
Typically not.
Okay. So would they tend to state that they're manipulated into staying in relationships, etc., that sort of thing?
I mean, they have.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realize some of these questions may not be, but I'm not the behavior specialist.
Again, it's that if somebody with BPD feels that they are being rejected, they will go into full attack mode typically against the person that they feel is rejecting them.
Do you, in your professional opinion, I should say, do you believe that she had traits of borderline?
She exhibited some traits.
Okay. So let's talk about that then. So traits, because you said she wasn't diagnosed, you're standing clear of diagnosis, I get that. But traits, if they had traits of something, would that also exhibit behavior to not tell the truth? Or is that a trait of a person with borderline personality disorder?
Again, the difference is that people can truly believe that something happened that clearly did not.
Well, forget the assault for a second, but I mean in general, is dishonesty or lying, is it a hallmark feature or symptom of someone that might have traits of borderline personality disorder?
Oftentimes there's an element of manipulation.
Manipulation, okay. Is it not one and the same? Not up to interpretation, okay. Which goes into my next question. So is it common with someone that has traits of borderline personality disorder to claim that they've been manipulated and staying into a relationship?
To protect themselves, it might be.
Is it common, or is it common that people that might have those types of traits be abusive towards other people?
They can be. Self-harm is actually much more common.
Okay, so let's talk. So self-harm. Let's just make an assumption. So let's assume for a second that you are correct in your professional opinion, and Ms. King has traits of borderline, or could possibly be a borderline personality disorder person. Self-harm is a trait of that condition.
It oftentimes accompanies it.
Why? I mean, self-harm. Why self-harm? What is it? Does it?
Again, it's frequently associated with the dissociative element. They're trying to feel something. They kind of numb themselves out mentally, and they're trying to feel something.
Other patients that you've had that may have had that condition, have you ever seen situations where they have been abusive and/or, let's just use the word abusive for now, or where they want to destroy a significant other or a partner or a friend or a
Well,
parent?
Again, if they perceive rejection, they will go after that person that's rejecting them because they can't tolerate it given their emotional history. And self-harm usually takes the form of cutting or using a cigarette and putting it out on yourself and that type of thing.
Do you believe they feel that pain? And they feel that pain, that's why they do it?
Well,
right?
it helps bring them out of this dissociative state.
Okay, understood. So, I was a patient of yours for some time, correct?
Going back to 2014.
2014, and can you explain to the reporter why I saw you?
At that time, when you first came in, you were having custody issues with your sons, and you needed a statement, professional statement about your ability to parent.
How did that turn out?
You reclaimed custody of your children.
Okay. So in that time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that process, isn't it true? I saw you beginning with that, and then I think when I went through what I went through with Miss King, I continued to see you, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. And that was up until when the time I left you sometime in 2017, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
17, early 18.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that 3 years plus, mm-hmm. right? So out of all that time, did you ever diagnose me as being a narcissist?
No.
Do you remember what you may have diagnosed me with?
Anxiety and ADD.
Okay. Do you remember if did you notice any trauma or anything that I had from that relationship as well?
You were very much in love with her, and you experienced a great deal of distress, even before you completely separated. But you were very distressed at that relationship ending.
So based on your treatment of me or the knowledge of me in 3 years, had I ever exhibited any kind of violent behavior or
No.
attitude or
No.
underlying traits of...
No.
Okay. Okay, I don't have anything further.
No question.
Okay. Doctor, thank you very much.
Okay.
Time is 1:37. That concludes today's deposition.